Paul, I want to ask you about building a culture, first and foremost. How do you go about doing that and building something that doesn't disappear when you go a couple of weeks without a positive result? Because I know it's something that you're big on, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, during the season, you've got to have ups and downs. I think we've only trained the whole squad together for 4 days now, so it's going to take a lot of time. I'm massive on culture, and I think the culture outweighs results and helps performances, really. So, and look, you've got to go through bad times, you're right. You might lose back-to-back games, and then, you can get fractions within the group, within the staff, potentially within the players. So I try and build it like, it's a slow burner really, but I try and build it with honesty and relationships with the players, with the staff. I'm constantly reaching out to them even when they don't want me to, and try and base it on trust. And I'm always trying to know more about the players all the time. Like, I've invited a player tonight to come and watch ice hockey with me in Sheffield. I think he's going to say no, but maybe next time I ask him, he'll say yes. I know he wants to come. So we try and do loads of things like that, loads of relationships where everyone feels safe and where everyone feels comfortable for criticism. That's the truth. So when I have team meetings like I did today for a debrief for Tuesday, it was all about, like, leave your ego outside the door. If I criticise Foz in the meeting, let's just say, it's not about Foz, it's not about him, it's about the team, it's about how we all get forward all the time. And I think it's easier to be critical of people when they think you respect them and love them. So in the same way I can criticise my son, it's easier to come from me than from someone else. So that's how I like to build culture. I like everyone to feel comfortable, but I like them to not feel uncomfortable, that's not true, but be ready for criticism, be ready for praise, and to go forward as a team and to enjoy it, fundamentally to enjoy it. Like I said to, I think it was Dobbs the last game when I left the dressing room, I said, what's the one thing I need you to do? And he said, enjoy it, Gaffer. I went, yeah, you've got to enjoy it. Life's too short not to. So that's sort of how I like culture. I like everyone to be, linked to the badge, to the club, know who they're playing for, why we talked about before, about my why wall. I'm obsessed with things like that. And look, football's really special for the footballers, I understand that. But for everybody outside of that, it's amazing. So my wife's like, oh, I can't wait for Saturday. I'm like, it's all right for you. Just sit there, have a meal and shout abuse at the bald fellow in the dugout. So I understand the importance of football, and the lads do. And the lads need to understand that, everything they do has a massive impact on people's lives. And I'm all about that.
You mentioned the why wall. Can you tell us about the win wall?
Yeah, well, I just think every little victory in football should be celebrated. Wins are like gold dust in any league. Wins. So I like to get a picture that represents the win. Now, for example, at the Cambridge game, it was obviously Colo, scored 2 goals. So I think his celebration with his arms looking like a hawk. I think that's the picture that goes in a frame with the date and the score goes on the wall. And then, so it's just before the meeting room. So, the more wins they get, the more I like to think the lads get empowered by it. And every month, hopefully you get 3, 4, 5 wins each month, and the lads can see the progression, and it's like a memory thing for them. They're thinking, like, I want to feel like that again. What do I have to do? Well, I need to listen in this meeting. I need to take the details. So I have a win wall. I like to celebrate wins. And I also have a clean sheet wall because goalkeepers possibly don't get the praise as they deserve. However, everyone's involved in a win, and everyone's involved in a clean sheet. So on one side, there'll be clean sheets. On the other side, there'll be wins. So I've been looking at photos from Liam's tenure when he'd done really well, won many games. So I'm trying to pick a photo that I like, where loads of the players are in it, and they can, be empowered when they walk past it. Because I say to them all the time, you'll never be this healthy, this attractive, probably this wealthy again in the rest of your life. So enjoy it for what it is.
The other thing I wanted to just ask about was, you've started taking a map with the logo on to away games. Can you just explain the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, just away from home really. There's a couple of reasons. Away from home, I want the dressing room to feel as homely as possible. So I appreciate some grounds are more intimidating than others, but the more Derby County you can make your changing room feel, the more at home the lads feel. It's I'm not telling you something you don't know. Virtually every club in the world has better home form than away form, because they probably feel supported, they probably feel loved, and they've probably got the crowd behind them, obviously. But being away sometimes, you do feel a bit uncomfortable. You're aware of the dressing rooms and all that. So the other thing I like to do is get the kit man, whoever goes to the ground early, to film the dressing room. So then I show the lads in the meeting. I didn't do it for the Cambridge game, to be honest, but show the lads in the meeting so they get aware of the dressing room before they get there, so it isn't like a big, oh, this isn't very big, or this is massive, or whatever. So get used to it. So I try and make the dressing room as Derby County as I can. So it's like, you know, this is our family, this is who we're playing for. But the mat on the floor is just to represent that, and in my opinion, to represent everyone at the football club. The players' family, the fans, everybody. And if you walk on the badge, you disrespect everybody. So it's an instant fine. So, you know, it isn't just the 13, 14 people who play a part who enjoy the game. It's thousands of people. It's the whole city who are trying to be behind the team. And I want the badge to make them realise how important it is for everybody, not just for them.
You mentioned Steelers, ice hockey. I think you were at the NFL last weekend as well. Good game?
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but the last kick of the game, it hit the post and then the bar. I thought I was getting a little, I mean, I've lived in Yorkshire for a bit of value for money, a bit of extra time. I didn't. You don't get any money back, unfortunately. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Do you get anything, do you take anything from the American sports that you're into the job, or is it a pure sort of escapism, enjoyment sort of thing?
Escapism, fundamentally. I do enjoy watching the warm-ups and everything and think, right, that's quite quirky, but I quite like what they've done there, and there's a few things that I always not try and pick up, but you just naturally, by osmosis, you sort of thing. But the documentaries I love. I absolutely buzz off them. Like I was saying to someone earlier, that like in American football, if you're the defensive coach, you might have all the defensive ends come round your house for a meal. Now, if you say that in England, the players will be like, what? What would you mean? Well, I don't come round your house. Ooh, that sounds a bit like uncomfortable. Whereas the Americans just a bit more relaxed and a bit more look after the person and the athlete, which I like. So, I said to you before that I had a play around mine for Christmas Day once, but 4 hours is too long. 2 hours is fine, but 4 hours is... So hence why I've tried to invite a player to come to ice hockey tonight. I just want to know them as people. And I think if they know that I like them as people and I trust them as people, then hopefully they know the information I'm giving them is from a good place.
Let me bring it back to the football. First home game on Saturday. Looking forward to it?
I am. I really am. Sincerely, if I wasn't, I'd tell you. If I was nervous, I'd tell you I'm not. I'm just really looking forward to it. Like, I know it's not going to be a finished article. I don't expect, 28, 30,000 people to turn up and go, oh, this is Paul Warne's team, let's have a look at it. Look, we've trained 4 or 5 days, 6 days probably by the time we get there, and it's a slow burner, but we're trying to, it's a healthy club, we're trying to take it in the right direction, and I am really looking forward to it. I've got loads of family coming, and I remember when I played here years ago as an away player, and I remember not really kicking the ball. I remember even when I did kick it, the fans were giving me dog's abuse. And I was thinking, what a place to play. Tom Huddleston just kept, it was like Tom and Jerry. Literally, he was like that with me, and I was like, my little legs and arms were going. So obviously I never come here, I've come here and managed, took a crack in once, had a game behind closed doors, COVID. That was more enjoyable as a manager coming to these big grounds. But to be the manager of the home team in such a historic ground is really proud for me and my family. It means a lot to us all.
What do you think how do you think you'll find the sort of reaction being on the other side of it then as the home team boss? Well,
I don't know what the reaction is yet. If it's full booze, then I don't think I'll take it too well. But hopefully, I presume everyone's been really kind to me. I like to think it's for not me, it's for me and my staff. And everyone at the football ground, everyone I've met has been brilliant. I think everyone's excited by, where the club's going. I know obviously the history. It's been a hard couple of years for a lot of people at this club. So hopefully, we're part of a really exciting journey to take the club back to where it wants to be. So I am looking forward to it. I am. I just got to be calm because I can embarrass myself at times. So I just need to be tranquilo.
And you said Tuesday there's been some illness in the camp. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, there has a bit, to be fair. There has been a bit of illness. There's a few players a little bit coughy and spluttery. The seniors, I think that's because all their kids have gone back to school and they start bringing it back, that's the truth. Hammy hasn't been great, but I think I'm virtually fully fit. Roon's trained today, Corey Smith trained today, Willa Sula's back today, so we're virtually a full echelon of players, which is great.